Hey, what's up, guys? Vince Dunlap here, bringing you guys another video. We're going to talk about Charlotte a little bit more today, okay? So first off, just want to say thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for liking and commenting and sharing. And if you aren't doing that, if you aren't subscribed to it, then go ahead and do it. Now, if you see the title of the video, you'll see that it's titled 5 pros and cons, or pros and cons of living in Charlotte, because I don't know how many I'm going to give you. But if you follow my other channel, Real Estate Vince, go subscribe to it if you haven't already. I just dropped a video yesterday with the same title. Now, the content will pretty much be the same, but this will be a little bit more laid back and all that good stuff, okay? So, gonna get right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the weather. And the reason why I want to talk about the weather, so I'm a little pissed off right now. I woke up this morning, I looked at my app, and the app said that it was about 51 degrees outside. And then I get outside, I put my hoodie on, and it's already 65 degrees. It was only like 30 minutes. So the weather, I'm gonna tuck the weather up as a pro and as a con, because we get all 4 seasons here in Charlotte. We get the fall, we get the spring, we get the summer, we get the winter. However, the weather here is super bipolar. You can wake up and it'll be 40 degrees in the wintertime, but by the time you get home, it's 75, 80 degrees. So how do we combat that? I can't even explain it, because it's been plenty of days where I've come home and I'm sweating my tail off because I dressed for the winter early this morning. So the weather is definitely a pro, it's definitely a con, okay? Another thing that I like about Charlotte actually is how it looks. I grew up in the country, but I've always been drawn to the bigger cities. So Charlotte gives you that happy mix of the city life and a little bit of the country life. As you can see right now, I'm on a walking trail right now, ton of trees, ton of greenery and all that good stuff. And the same thing with Charlotte. You can actually be downtown in the heart of Charlotte and see trees. You don't have to drive 30 or 45 minutes to go see a tree like you have to do in other cities, all right? Another thing, the city is growing. Charlotte, depending on which article you look at, Charlotte is one of the fastest growing cities in the country right now. And there's a ton of people moving here every single day. You got people moving from all over, and it's very rare that you'll find anybody who's actually from Charlotte. Now, on the flip side of that, the negative about living in Charlotte, the crime rate has gone up. I think about 5 years ago, the crime rate has always been generally bad, but the last 2 or 3 years, as far as the murder rate, by the time we hit April or May, the crime rate has reached to where it would be in like previous years past total. And I think that's an unfortunate byproduct of a lot of the construction that's going on, a lot of the gentrification, and people just moving here in general. Sports. Charlotte isn't looked at as a sports town. However, we pretty much have all the sports here. We got a minor league hockey team. We got a minor league baseball team. We actually just got awarded MLS, which I think is Major League Soccer team. They're supposed to start playing next year. We got the Hornets. We got the Panthers, even though they let Cam go, don't really care about that. But as far as sports goes, we have sports all over. And on a personal level, if you're an active type of person and you want to get out and play sports, any sport you want to play in here in Charlotte, you probably can do so. When I first moved here about 5 years ago, I got introduced to kickball. And I laughed. I was like, look, I just did 14 years in the Army. I'm not playing no doggone kickball. But I got out there, I started playing, and it's been pretty dope. Hey, how y'all doing? And I've been playing now for about 4 years. I haven't played in the last 2 years because, you know, life just kind of took off. But there's a very, very, very big kickball community here in Charlotte. And if you think you would like to play kickball, come on to Charlotte. I'll introduce you to it, okay? Entrepreneurship, and I'm reading off of a card, y'all, in case you couldn't tell. Entrepreneurship. If you don't want to work a 9 to 5, if you have an entrepreneur spirit, Charlotte would definitely be a good place for you to come to. There are little small startup companies happening all over the place. There are investors here constantly look for people who are into trying to invent something or start new companies. But if you find yourself being, or an entrepreneur per se, Charlotte would be a good spot to come. And my bad if I'm tripping over my words. I'm walking, I'm out of shape, I'm starting to get a little winded, okay? One big thing about Charlotte, I like to always tell a lot of my friends, a lot of my family, a lot of my clients, is its proximity to other cities. If you want to go to the beach, it's about 3 hours. And depending on which one you want to go to, we have Wilmington and we have Myrtle Beach. Both of those are about 3.5 hour drives, depending on how quick you are. Atlanta is a 4-hour drive. Then we have the mountains to the west, depending on if you want to go to Boone, where the Biltmore is, if you want to go to Asheville, if you want to go to Gatlinburg, all those places are within 3 hours away. New York is, I think, about 9 hours away. So if you are from New York and you want to move to Charlotte, you would be far away to where you can go on the weekend, but your family just can't surprise you with a visit. They gotta kind of let you know, hey, we're coming down there. So you're right there stuck in the middle. All right. I'm gonna switch over to some cons. One of the major cons that I have about Charlotte is the nightlife. The nightlife in Charlotte is absolutely atrocious. It has always been bad, and I don't ever see it getting good. Now, me, I'm in my late 30s, so I don't go out as much as I used to. I really don't go out at all now. However, the nightlife here sucks. Now, there are bars all over the place. There are clubs that you can go to, but if you're watching this, depending on what type of clubs that you do like to go to, as soon as they start establishing some sort of credibility, it gets shut down. And we have a place here called the Epicenter, which is about 10 years old, and it was supposed to be like the latest and greatest. It's basically a block full of bars, full of clubs, full of eateries, and it was super dope. And it's gone. Late last year, those who are in charge, they announced that they'll be ending the leases of a lot of the bars and a lot of the clubs in the Epicenter. Basically everything that falls under entertainment. They cited violence as being the reason why. There's too much violence going on. Hey, morning. And with the image that Charlotte is trying to promote, being a banking capital and being right there in the heart of downtown, they couldn't allow it to go. And literally last night I just saw on Twitter where I think about 5 or 6 clubs and bars were actually told that their leases were up. So what will come of the Epicenter next, I don't know. But as far as the bars and the clubs, they're definitely gone. The night scene is trash. So if you're young and you like going out and you like going to the clubs, Charlotte is not for you. Now, if you like going to dog parks, breweries, wineries, or any other eateries, you can still come here. You will like it. But if you want to go to the club, listen to some music, Charlotte ain't the place for you, okay? Another bad thing about Charlotte is the construction. Construction with a growing city will always be the case. However, with Charlotte, you can't drive 5 miles in either direction without seeing, hey, morning. You can't drive 5 miles in either direction without any construction, without any major construction. I don't think we'll ever see a time where there isn't any type of construction going on in Charlotte. Now, it's not so much to the point to where you can't get around, but there's just gonna always be some construction. And that's another thing. I'm out here, I'm on this walking trail, and you guys see me saying hey to passerbys. That's another thing about Charlotte, just with being in the South, the hospitality. People are gonna wave, people are gonna acknowledge you, people are gonna say, hey, what's up? So for you people that are like from the North, from the Midwest, from the West, I know a lot of you guys aren't aren't familiar with that, but that happens here. If a stranger says hey to you, it's not a bad thing, okay? Just say hey, give them a head nod, and just keep it moving, all right? Now, another thing about Charlotte, because I'm on my cons list, will be gentrification. Unfortunately, gentrification is inevitable, and unfortunately, it impacts certain demographics more than other demographics. And with Charlotte being such a growing city, there are a lot of poor people, unfortunately, who are getting pushed out in the name of progress. So we're constantly seeing new buildings being built, new communities being built, and unfortunately, the people who can't compete with the rising prices, they're having to move out. One of the best examples that I can give to you, the NASCAR Hall of Fame here in Charlotte. I've been in there maybe twice. It's a beautiful building, full of history and all of that good stuff, but it sits on a former African-American neighborhood. I think the neighborhood used to be called Brooklyn Village, so if you know about that, feel free to look it up, but it used to sit on an African-American neighborhood. And I think the Carolina Panthers football stadium, one of their end zones used to be a hospital in a black neighborhood, which I will assume would be Brooklyn Village since they're so close together. So unfortunately, gentrification is a huge issue in Charlotte, but also it's an inevitability, unfortunately speaking. And that's pretty much all of the things that I have. Overall, even with the pros that I gave you, even with the cons that I gave you, Charlotte is still, Charlotte is still a pretty dope city. If anybody asks me, would I advise anyone to move to Charlotte, I would say yes. I've been here for about 5 years. I've lived all over the country, and I don't really have any complaints about Charlotte. It's treating me nice. I love it here. I like it here, and that's pretty much it. So if you guys got any questions, let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys next time. All right.